Right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 on the side of Sky5. We had a Zul'jin banned. I hate that character, but in a good way because he is scary to play against. And again, me as a tank player, I do not like giving free stacks as a front line for a Zul'jin. It's the worst feeling, especially when they kill you and you're just like, wow, I fed him, I spoon fed him, right? Gave him stacks and fed this man. All right, we have a follow-up Stukov ban. Maybe they know this team plays Stukov in their draft, or maybe their comp can get countered by Stukov here. But then again, Stukov is always the same ban. You don't want to be silent. It's just like Ana, right? You don't want to get trashed on by a sleep Ana. Like, that's the most frustrating feeling when you're making a play. Next thing you know, a god tier silence or a god tier sleep comes into play. Interesting. A Medivh ban. Okay. All right. I like to see that. Followed up by a variant. So maybe they know that the side of Sky5 does do that variant that we've been seeing in the past few casts and games. Maybe they play that variant drop, and by completely taking out of the picture, and they don't want to team fight against that, excellent stuff. That's probably why they also banned this Dukov. Maybe. All right. Liddell on Sky5 picks up Uther here. Maybe we get a double support comp game. Typically, when you take Uther in the first pick, you do see a double support come out. I would love to see a double support comp. Cross fingers for this. Hey, Ash, listen here. Ana is too good. You ban that. You ban it. All right, you ban it. Oh, look at that. My boy Key Glock on the Ana. Oh, excellent. We love to see this. Ana and Li Ming. Classic combo. Completely obliterates team. Li Ming on this map is excellent for poke. Great for Immortal Race. And because this is a PvP, very intense PvP map oriented, you get a lot of value with that Li Ming, especially when you get a reset. All right, now on the side of Sky5, we have an Anduin and a Kael'thas. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have a double support comp. I am hyped for Sky5. I love double supports. I love it. It's so much fun because it switches up the meta. You know, it switches up the way you engage teams, because the whole point, for my, let's say, my puny brain's understanding of a double support, is you pretty much set up and you fight, right? You strive and fight due to the sustained healing compared to, solo heals. But you do lose out on a lot of, CC, and you lose up a lot of opportunity because of the fact that you are a double support. But if Uther does die, right, and your front line goes down, you also have your Bruiser to kind of help counteract with it. But Uther's 8-second, I think it's 7 or 8 second trait that also, again, for that longevity of the fight, right, you're still getting heals. Again, I love playing with, not against, with a double support comp. And the utility, right? So as much as I am focusing on the double support, I just like to let it be known, right? Uther is just a great pick, has cleanse, CC, 8-second trait cooldown. So again, that is why I'm just focusing on that Uther pick and the double support, because it's just so much fun. Now, let's focus here on Tricky Gooses. We're looking at a very, I would say more of a meta classic comp here. Tychus, Sonya is shown. The offlane was picked, so the tank is last pick. Now, I wonder if they're a little bit worried about maybe their tank getting countered potentially. But Sonya is typically a good solid pick. Now, with the Uther, Sonya does have to be a little careful, right? Because you don't want to just eat for free and let Uther just get free stuns, then you get locked down because you have Anduin and Kael'thas to CC you out, right? So, but excellent sturdy draft of Tricky Goose here. I'm loving it. All right, we have Muradin potentially for the Q. Cherry on top is what I like to call it. Poke damage on the Immortal, followed by a Rainer. Maybe potentially Exterminator, great for camp clear and for taking out the Immortal a lot quicker. Now, on the side of Sky Gooses, Tricky Gooses. What is their tank? Now, looking at their comp here, they could get away actually with the Diablo here. Not much percent damage kill on the side of Sky5. There's a lot of great follow-up, on for Sky5, but they're going to go with the Anubarak. All right, so potentially to isolate one of the healers out of the fight and dive onto that Kael'thas or dive onto that Anduin, or dive onto that Rainer. There's a lot of great choices, guys. This, on both sides, I really love both drafts. Like, it's hard for me to choose at this point which draft is better. Like, I see so many good pros and cons. I see so many good blow for blows here. So many good fights are going to happen this game. Guys, it's hard for me to choose. I'm gonna have to withdraw from picking one. I am excited for both teams here. Great picks on both sides. They're both playing for the map here, and they both have excellent PvP potential. I just realized that the double support with the Murden, but with the Murden as a tank, right, it's extra CC and it's extra damage as a tank. Now, I do know that there was a recent patch that changed Murden, but I still like their comp, both sides. So let's see what the side of it. I'm going to change out now. Good luck to both teams. All right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 here. And we're going to start calling out the names here for Sky5, which is our blue team. We have Apple Mike on Rainer. Kael'thas is being played by Furl. Murden is played by AG Silver AG. Uther is being played by Liddell, and Anduin is being played by Alan by default. All right, for our red team here, I'm just going to call him Nan, is playing Tychus. Birdie is playing Li Ming. Duck on the Anubarak. Elfboy on Sonya, and Key Glock on Anna. Let's hear it for both of them, man. I am excited. Let's see how this start one. Anna is immediately scouting. Great stuff here. Making sure that they have the potential. Now, it's a little interesting that they're playing a little bit back. That's okay, you know. They're just trying to gauge out, see where everyone is. Looks like the Anduin or the Murden's going to go for the free stacks. So, when looking at talent choices here, right, we have your standard Exterminator. Great pick here, right? Good map clear potential and immortal potential. You have your Mana Addict. Pretty standard. Great anti-blow up here. Murden, classic Perfect Storm, great stuff whenever you can stack it, and it's really good at level 4 too. Hammer of the Lightbringer, this also reduces your maximum mana, and for the Immortal, or whatever you're hitting, you get that Hammer of Justice cooldown. And lastly, the Bold Strategy. Now, looking at Tychus here with Press the Advantage, you get that 1 extra attack range. Q, Force Armor, probably for the Pyroblast, so Li Ming does not get cut in the middle of a fight. Legion of Beetles to potentially reduce the damage of that Kael'thas. W build, which you see to a front-to-back comp, which is what you're probably going to see here, because the Sonya will be poking out to that front-to-back comp that they have here, followed up by Key Glock picking the Sleep. All right, now that we have discussed their talents here. So, no picks yet, so we can't go for the Siege Camp yet. Maybe Rainer goes top to try sneaking it. Key Glock, my boy, hits a nice Rainer here. Anna hits a nice Sleep on the Rainer. But, you know, around about your 210, 215, you can start taking your Bruiser Camp to time it for the start taking it for the objective. But it looks like the Rainer is going to rotate top. Now, is there a call out on this missing Rainer? Is he going to either gank, or is he going to look for this top camp to make a steal? And on the side of Tricky Gooses, are they going to recognize that Rainer's there? Now, Rainer does get shown, and Murden gets slept here with the Duck on the Kael'thas, but doesn't lock down the Murden. That's okay. But are they going to take advantage of that siege camp? Li Ming is seeing it out because they see 2 top pushing in. Sonya did back. How much did they lose up top? Okay, so they lost a cannon shot, and that actually puts Sky5 to a little bit of advantage. Now, Anubarak does go in on the Murden here, and might go down here, but excellent sleep by Anna to keep the Anubarak alive. Now, Anubarak is a little low here, and they're going to poke. It's a 4v3. Murden backs up, realizes this is not a good idea. Let's leave. Good poke. Now, it looks like they are going to start on the side of Sky5. They're going to start taking the top seed, which is typically what you've seen here. And you're going to have Li Ming and Anna start rotating to their bruisers. So that means on the side of Sky5, they're going to be a little late on their bruisers. Let's see if they can make up for it. Let's see if they get punished for not going at your typical time. Now, Sonya is showing, putting some pressure, but just backing off. Knows it's not a good idea to take it, right? Just give it. Your bruiser camp will either neutralize it or stall it and win the lane. All right. So coming in, great Q into the Immortal stun here. It seems that Rainer's going to go ahead and get a head start on the side for Sky5 to get him some Immortal damage. Sonya's going in, but AG Silver the Murden hits Sonya's, continuously poking them. It is a nightmare with their CC here. But it is still evening out here because Rainer is showing top lane. It is a potential that you force a 5v4 here. right? Because you see the advantage in the top lane. Let's see what Tricky Gooses does here. Do they get a nice pick? But Tychus does get followed up, and it gets completely isolated and CC'd out. Great CC chain on the Tychus for the side of Sky5. Excellent. Now Sonya next, because there is an Uther Sun and a Murkyu here, followed by the Anduin root here. Yeah, Sonya should be going down here, right? But see, that might be the sad part of having a double support comp, because if your two healers are hitting them, you're lacking in damage. But Raynor catches up in the middle of that fight and is immediately taking it to the halftime show. Uther is almost done with his quest, so this is going to be wreaking havoc. As an Uther player, you're going to be wreaking havoc to the enemy team because you're going to be able to spam your E's. Now, is Uther caught out here? But Anubrak does miss his Q and misses the E. Does he get punished for it? Murden jumps in and starts queuing, and he shoots his sleep dart, but misses. Can they get anything? CCs are down. Poke is been poking out here. Uther's a little low here, still kind of isolated. Tychus is going to focus the Uther here with the bed of barbs here for Sloth, and instantly dies. Anduin was just a tad bit late on grabbing him. It's a little rough. Maybe the Uther was just a little bit too high up, was looking for maybe a potential NC, and Uther goes down, so now it's 5-4. But do they catch the Sonya? Sonya does go down, and Anubrak is a little bit far away from his team. Murden is low too. Anubrak does not hit him, and he is slow. And on the side of Tricky Gooses, they take the Immortal to their side. Great pick on the Uther. They almost caught the Murden. It was really close by the Anubrak and hitting. Very good try. I didn't realize that the Anubrak was potentially even focusing out the Anduin, I believe is what he was focusing out at. So that was really good by focusing out that healer, allowing your team to put pressure on a low Murden. Excuse me, on the side of Sky... Yeah, Sky5 does take it. Sorry. I may have said that backwards. I'm doing really bad with names today, so excuse me, guys. Instant sleep on the Raynor followed up, but they're going to start taking the fort gate here. Anubrak does go in for an unstoppable E, but doesn't hit anybody. So it looks like they're potentially going to get even just the well. They shouldn't get the fort here. They play it safe on the side of Tricky Gooses. They should be okay in protecting. But it's really good that you did get that gate down, because now you can start putting even more pressure. But instantly, Sleth Murden. Can they get a follow-up? They do get an E. They get a Q. Can Tychus and Li Ming get that combo? Is there a grenade thrown? There is no grenade thrown. Murden was so close and being dead yet again. This Murden has 9 lives. Now, the thing about Murden, though, is his trait gives so much value, right? Li Ming does sniff out. Good 6th sense by Birdie. But excellent sleep into a magic missile by the Li Ming. And another great magic missile hitting all 3 on the Murden. Let's see if Li Ming's Qs continue being this dangerous, because in the late game, you will instantly see a nice blow. And Kael'thas does get hit by the Li Ming orb, which, did she take the reset? No, she is going the Q charge build, which I have seen on this map for race potential. Now, Uther gets slept here and instantly out, or anti-healed, which is excellent. You want to see that. Great Anna on that play. Murden does jump in, but can they punish him? But there is an Uther heal behind him. Like I said, that trait value is huge here. Now, they do catch the Kael, because Kael was a little too high, and great stuff by the Anna. Now, Anubrak was a little high, but a 2-for-1 trade here is not bad. Excellent work by the Anna. Anna is setting up great plays, setting up anyone who she sees is maybe a little bit too overextended here. And on the side of Tricky Gooses, they're going to start taking their Bruiser Camp. Great timing here, because with this minion wave coming in, you'll have your Bruiser Camp followed right behind it, which is pretty good timing, because you want the minion wave to soak up the camp, or the damage before the camp does. So you get pretty much maximum value. Now, it looks like Uther is scouting down bottom to see if anyone's there, but that's going to give a advantage to the side of Tricky Gooses to start doing damage to the Immortal. Now, it looks like they're going to catch the Raynor. Excellent, excellent. Oh, excellent. Off the top ropes. John Cena by the Sonya, the catch. Now, do they catch Uther? Because Uther is a little bit caught out here. No, but the CC is down. But that's okay. You got to pick on the Raynor here, which is their potential to do damage to the Immortal. They are going to lack some damage, because Raynor is basically your, in a sense, your hyper carry in the sense for this map. Great start on the second objective for the side of Tricky Gooses. They are utilizing the map here. They're playing it well. Anubrak is bottom, potentially just to let the Sonya get increasingly damaged, because they know that there really isn't much damage on the side of Sky5. Now, Odin was casted here. They want to secure this objective here. Maybe a little iffy, but let's see if it pays off. Is there a potential chance that you could have saved that for the Immortal? Anubrak is low, but gets out, but there should be a follow-up Q and an instant cocoon on the Murden to save Anubrak here. Now, what you can do here, if you're on the side of Tricky Gooses, potentially is attack. Uther catches the Sonya with a nasty ult. Great, runs up to the Sonya and catches her out cold. Let's see what happens here. Do they give this? Li Ming is going bottom here to clear that objective at this point. Or excuse me, not objective, that siege camp. Now, Anub'arak is CC chained. That is the power of an Uther, Murden, Kael'thas, and an Anduin. You have 4 hard CCs to the face. Potentially, you could have given the bottom port. It looked like it was down and forced another 4v4 on it while the Rainers are... Or, honestly, you probably could have just ganked the Rainer. It's just, again, it's just a potential idea of what maybe could have happened. But they went with the chance to see if they could just poke this down slowly. But is it a little bit too late now for the side of Tricky Gooses to take this back? They are going to jump on the Uther. Uther gets slept immediately and anti-heal. Can they kill the Kael'thas though? But they don't. Can they kill the Uther instead? They don't. That wasted a lot of time, but they're going to poke down the shield. They shouldn't really, again, get too much. You have great poke on the side of Tricky Gooses, but excellent stuff for Sky5 for, again, getting the objective. Rainer following and making sure he's using his kit to the fullest ability here. Now, you do have Odin for this defense if you really need to use it. That's okay. Great cycle at this point because you got poke damage as Tychus, Li Ming with a great sidestep here. Now, can they punish the Murden here? No, Uther does get the CC on the Tychus, but they do cocoon the Uther. And as we were talking about, Odin is casted for this objective. Now, it might be a little too high for the Anub'arak because he just uses E. He gets punished here because look how much CC's on him. He is down because it is a CC lockdown comp. It is a scary comp. 4 out of the 5 teammates on the side of Sky5 have so much CC. It is scary for any dive hero to go in. Now, Li Ming does hit a nice teleport to get away from the Murden Q. So they do lose both ports here in the span of this second objective. If you're on the side of Sky5, you are looking really good here. So it seems like they are going to be posturing to take top immediately. Great stuff here. Might as well take it off the map. Keep using that level advantage. And if you're on the side of Tricky Gooses, you should potentially recognize, yep, and Sonya does recognize that they all went top, so we can just take bottom for free, right? Sonya takes this super quick. Uther is straight beelining it down here. He wants to make sure if he can get this, but he doesn't. But as you just saw, I don't know if you guys saw on the mini-map, right? Their team went here, right? 3 of them did. And if you don't know, that was a safe route. But they catch the Uther! They catch the Uther, and it's completely CC top. But do they get the Sonya for the ultimate CC? And Uther is still healing. It's a 4-for-4. It's a 1-for-1 trade here. Can they do anything else here? Murden might have another Q. He does. And just gets to the other stack. But catches the Kael'thas here. Can they do any more damage? No. There is a cocoon on the Murden here. And do they get any more follow-up CC? This is a great CC setup, but no. They just back up. They take a moment. And they take their losses for a 1v1 trade here. They're gonna clear the siege champ for the side of Sky5. They're gonna clear the enemy's siege camp, and vice versa for Tricky Gooses here. So looks like they're gonna start their bruiser camp here, and also looks like the retaliation play is they're going to take theirs on the side of Sky5. Potentially just put lane pressure in, and they're timing it for the objective. Now let's see who stalls it out longer. You typically want to save it till about 15 seconds in because. Well, let's see what the time at. Yeah, so the next minion wave should be spawning shortly if it already has it. Yep, as we see here, it spawns at 12:05. But if you hold it, you can let this sit behind it and get a little bit more value. But it just depends on how the enemy team reacts to it. It's just more of a nuisance. So now it's here instead of now pulling in here. It's just something to show. Just something to show to see let other people know that. All right, so it looks like Sky5 is going to go ahead and start poking down the Immortal here. Very scary. It's good stuff to already have some poke damage because you got a free Q, and they catch the Anub'arak. Can they get fast CC? They completely CC chain the Anub'arak, but they don't kill him. Now, the Anub'arak did give the the Kael'thas, the Kael'thas W here. Fire Blast, whatever. I'm having a brain fart here. But we did see on the side of Tricky Gooses and Sky5, they wasted all of their ults here. When I say wasted, they used all their ults here. So now it is just down to an Anduin Light Bomb into a Tychus Odin. And Tychus Odin is casted to play on defense. Can they use this ability to poke out the enemy team's Immortal here? And they will. They will start poking. This is where a Li Ming strives here, right? Gets good poke, great damage on the Immortal for the side of Tricky Gooses to start poking. Just keep poking as Li Ming, but they're probably just waiting out this Odin because they're probably looking at on the side of Sky5, they might be looking at an Anduin Murden Light Bomb combo. It's where you basically put the Light Bomb on the Murden and Murden just says, fuck it, I'm going in, and just goes ham on there. Kael'thas will have his ult soon, and Sonya will have Leap. Murden is down, but does Sonya see it? Sonya was the target here and backed up, but Unrack goes back into a full CC combo team, but there seemed to maybe a disconnect on that Anduin Light Bomb here because Murden did kind of back up. Maybe was not anticipating it, maybe. But Sonya goes back in, completely CC chain. Can they do anything to save Sonya? They can't. And Cocoon was a little bit late, might be a misclick there, but they're going to go in, try and make it to a 4v4 for a little bit, but no, Li Ming does get caught here, instantly caught by the Uther, and double TC'd, and Kale should catch this and secure the kill. Great follow-up again, Murden with his 9 lives. Anna is stepping up to sleep away the opponents to make sure she doesn't get caught here. What else can you do for the side of Tricky Gooses? They're going to try defending this as a 3v5, might be a little risky. Anubrak has a little bit of mana. He could go down here because there's a lot of CC on him, and he will go down. This is rough on the side of Tricky Gooses because now, right, with this Rainer, you're going to have a lot of damage, especially with Hyperion, especially with, you know, how destructive a Rainer can be on this map, especially when it swings your way, right, with structure advantage. Let's actually check out the damage numbers here. All right, so Kael'thas at 30k, followed up by Tychus, 47,000, Li Ming, basically, we'll round up 39,000. But it's crazy because look how much damage on the side of Tricky Goose is doing, but the self-sustain of that double mage is really, really showing here. However, to turn the tide here, it only takes, at this point, 2 team fights for the side of Tricky Gooses to win here, to basically completely change the dynamic of this whole game. Odin is going to be casted early to start getting some prep. Murden does jump in. Can they get an immediately blow up? But no, he gets out really low. But they do catch 2 here. Will they get a light bomb? And they get a Uther all here. They do. They catch a Sonya and they catch the Anubrak, but Anubrak will die to the Kael'thas. This is a big uh-oh. Big uh-oh for the side of Tricky Gooses. Both your front line goes down. This is an immediate keep. I mean, it probably wasn't already immediate keep, but if not, this secures this keep. But can they get a little bit of core damage now? Can they get a little greedy here? Can they make something spicy here? But they catch the Anna. Anna does get caught by the ETC driving left, and they catch the Anna. This might be game, right? It might be. They at least at the bare minimum can get core damage. And they're going to focus on the Tychus here. Can they secure the Tychus here? Can they do it? They do not. Super close to Nexus. But this might be game because Rainer does wreak havoc on this keep, and it is going to be game on core for the side of Sky5. GG, well done, taking advantage of that double healer comp. I mean, what can you do with 4 CC chains, right? But if you're on the side of Tricky Gooses, there is so much almost done on that Murden. It might have seemed like the Murden was the target a lot of times, and it's unfortunate because the Anubrak would go in for a great CC follow-up to try getting a chain, but instantly just shut down. Like, the whole combo was just essentially shut down. It was just unfortunate for a dive hero like that because Uther, Anduin, Murden, Kael'thas, like I was saying, all 4 of them have direct CC to punish anyone that goes in. Super unlucky for the Anubrak. But again, GG. The side of Sky5. Let's go ahead and update the score here. Excellent game here. Again, guys, I'm still hoping for 3 games no matter who wins here. This is really, really good stuff here. Guys, what do you guys think? I had a blast with that game. That was a great game. You love to see both strengths of both sides, right? There were times where Tricky Gooses was doing so well, right? They're doing good poke. However, with some things with the with the leaning, there is that potential chance, right, that you could, again, potential chance that you could go at the level 4 talent. I believe it's the, let me pull it up here, let me make sure. I think it's I don't think it's Triumvirate. I always forget the talent name, and I play a lot of Li Ming, how dare I, right? But yeah, okay, so it is Triumvirate, right? You might want to try the Triumvirate out, only because, again, when you're playing Li Ming on a map like BOE, you can get a lot of resets, right, on your orb. But again, I do see the potential with the Q build, because when you go Q build and you go Charge Blast, there are specific talent tier picks for a Li Ming on BOE to get your maximum damage on the Immortal. Again, I do understand, right, both sides, but it does seem like they were trying to also go for a lot of team fights because the enemy team was just soaking consistently. Oh, snap. Make sure. The enemy team was consistently soaking a lot of damage here. Okay, so Tricky Gooses got the first pick. So Sky5 here. What is the pick for Sky5? What do you guys think about that game? All right, too. I feel like a noob should have just cocooned one of the healers so they could burn down the murder. I agree too. You know, maybe the target here was, excuse me, as I'm reading this, maybe the target could have been Uther, right? Uther was a direct CC line because as a Murden, right, you had a skill shot. Did I just get pinged? Okay. All right, let me also change the match. Picked by red and won by blue. Okay. So now the blue team gets their pick here. And we'll see what pick they choose. But yeah, guys, that was exciting. It was exciting to see that. It was unfortunate though because of New Brat. I mean, even if he did pick Tychus, right? I mean, excuse me, Diablo, he still would have gotten punished. So maybe someone like Johanna to soak up all that damage, get some unstoppable going for all the extra CC that's being followed up. But it's really hard, you know, because with all that CC, you know, you just focus down any target that goes in. It's just hard, right? For any tank player, it's hard. You essentially just have to bait out their abilities. But the thing is once you get caught by one CC, if the enemy team is looking and is concentrating, right, number two, you should be locked down entirely. So again, it comes down to you really got to rely on that healer to get you out of tricky situations, but also it comes down to positioning too. So it's really hard for dive characters at that point. But there was potential though, because again, if you cocoon, I would say the Uther, only because the Uther was a direct CC, right? A direct E followed up by his ult. So you have what, a 3 to 4 second, no, probably 4 to 5 second stun time, and then you get gravity lapse, then you get completely chained by the Anduin, and then a Q, and then Raynor just Qs you to death and, you know, beats your ass for fun. Right? It's just unfortunate. So again, just waiting for side of Sky5 to choose their map they would like to play. Since they got first pick, Tricky Gooses got first map pick. Maybe we get another double support comp here, right? That would be really exciting to see here. All right, looks like Sky5 is picking up Dragonshire. Ooh, this is a fun map. All right, let's go to map bands here. Dragonshire, side of the blue team here. Oops. Updated. All right, so we have Dragonshire. You know, I remember when I first played this map and I watched the Koreans, you know, the Koreans play, and I am not gonna lie, I absolutely hated Dragonshire because I just felt like my teammates just didn't know how to, even me, right? I'm not gonna lie, even me, I just didn't know how to really play it well, right? I was just really bad at the map, and I would always blame my teammates for that. But as I, you know, started watching more professional play, like the Koreans, right? The Koreans love this map, man. They just, when I was watching HGC, right? They love this map, and I learned so many, skills and understanding that bottom lane, you know, was a priority, right? All those basic concepts to this map is really important to understand. Make sure I let them on ready. But yeah, guys, you know, what do you guys think about, you know, Dragonshire? You know, is it a map that you guys liked? Is it a map that you guys don't like? I mean, I completely understand both. I mean, I feel for that. If you don't like it, because it is very team oriented. It only takes one guy to like screw that game up for you. All right, we are entering in game number 2, Dragonshire, selected by the winners of the last match, Sky5. Now let's see if Tricky Gooses can come back and let us have, for the first time, a match nap number 3. I do hope we get that though. I do. So let's see what strategies are shown. Let's see what bans are going to be pushed out. You know, maybe we get, again, I just want to see Diablo in this map. All right, so they do the respect ban. Hey, Deadstrike, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I agree. I do think it's a very complicated map, especially in lower elo, because there is a lot going on in that map, right? There's a lot of There's a lot of macro aspect to a game. There's a lot of micro with your PvP. There's a lot of understanding on who should get in the objective. You know, who is more vulnerable. You know, all that stuff is very difficult and can be very, to me, discouraging for me as a new player. And again, I never played a MOBA before. Like, I thought MOBAs they just weren't my thing at the time, right? Like, I was a first-person shooter player, you know. So this map in particular was not, that and Towers of Doom were just not my favorite. I dreaded it when I was playing Stormlink. But nice to have you here. Thanks for stopping by, That Strikes. All right, so we have a variant ban again, Zul'jin ban. So maybe they are scouting, or maybe they just don't want to deal with a Zul'jin. And maybe another Medivh ban? Maybe they know that a Medivh player, and Medivh can be played really well on this map because there's a lot of rotation situations here, and you can cut through objective walls or walls all around the map. You can do easy ganks, right? Medivh is scary on this map. Let's see if they ban it. But there are a lot of other good picks too, like assassins. Like you have your Hanzo played correctly really well on top. So they ban out the Hogger. Pretty good pick because Hogger does get a lot of value on the objective here. So first pick to the side of Tricky Gooses. Let's see what they prioritize here. I feel like they're going to potentially prioritize an assassin here. Let the tank maybe go in the second draft. Or a second phase, I should say. All right, so they actually commit to the Stukov. Thank you so much, Deathstrike. And I'm glad to see that we have that in common. This is our first MOBA. And I'm glad it was compared to like League and Dota, because at least we get a lot of PvP action. All right, so they do let the Cassia go through here. So Cassia would be the second or the first pick on the side of Sky5. So Stukov, they might do, you know, maybe a lockdown play with the Stukov. Stukov is very scary in this meta. And we get a Malfurion pop. Now, do we get a potential Stitches or Diablo, right? Because you could do a QE into Roots, right? It's pretty easy to predict a lot of your tanks with the Malfurion. But the problem that I have, and again, I'm not the greatest at healing, so it's hard for me to say not as a healer main, but every time I have a Malfurion as a healer, even some really good ones, I feel like the lack of healing is very noticeable because it is a very sustained type of heal. But again, I'm not a tank. I'm not a healer main, so it's really hard to say. But Malfurion is useful and gives you a great mana situational, gives you great mana sustain and health sustain. So again, correct me if I'm wrong on that, guys. If you know Malfurion better, please feel free to share, because Malfurion is, again, a little bit for me. I hate seeing it, and when I say hate, I highly dislike it because I feel like there's just other healers that are just better at this moment. Okay, so for the side of Tricky Gooses, they pick a Gul'dan and ETC. Potentially, as, you know, I've seen, Gul'dan has been, and Lunara has been, you know, played as the fake damage, right? People do say it is fake damage for poison because it just gets healed right back up. But with the Suck You Off build Gul'dan, then that's right. The Suck You Off build Gul'dan, I said it. Could be good. Could be good. Could be great CC. And they ban the Rexar. Rexar is a very annoying character on this map, especially if one knows how to play Rexar. So let's see on the side of Sky5, what tank do they go here? I'm actually very curious what they could do. A Murden again. They could do a Joe. They could do... Joe actually does really well against this team. Great lane clear. But you do get a lot of value on a Murden and on a potential Diablo if played correctly. Okay, so they do a Li Ming again, and they take the Li Ming and Blaze. Blaze might be the offlane here. They might be baiting out the tank, or baiting out the offlaner to see what they pick. Malph's level 1 talent, Emerald Dream, sleeps for 2 seconds after the... What? Wait, what? Oh, excuse me. Run that back. Scratch record. Excuse me? He can sleep? So he can root and sleep? That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Oh. Oh, that's gonna be stick nasty. That's a Phoenix, guys. That's a Phoenix. And a Battle Lily. Do we see the Phoenix in the offlane, though? Phoenix is annoying in the offlane. Or do we get the Battle Lily in the offlane? I'm putting my money mainly towards the Phoenix. Now, as I said, looks like the Blaze was just baiting out to let D.Va be. But Phoenix, I do believe, wins that because of the shield regeneration. And I'm going to assume Phoenix is the offlaner here. But, you know, you could see some surprise and see Lily. But you do I would assume it would be Lily in the 4-man because you negate Cassia completely. I mean, her Q does a lot of damage, but it also helps control the Cassia as well. All right, everyone. Game number 2 on Dragonshire. Both sides have some excellent picks here for characters. This is an exciting series. Again, I'm not picking favorites here, but I really want to see a game number 3. These guys are going to do well, both of them, and I'm happy to see such competitiveness in Div A East here. All right, once this loads up, we will announce each side's name yet again, but it's nice to see, different switch-ups of characters here. You don't really get to see a lot of Phoenix in the offlane. You don't get to see a lot of Blaze as the main tank. All right, so let's switch to the in-game, everyone. This is Dragonshire, everyone. So on the side of the blue team, representing Sky5 here, again, is Apple Mike on Li Ming, Earl on the Cassia, AG Silver AG on the Blaze, Liddell on the Diva, and Alan by default playing Malfurion. Oh my god, I can't wait to see that. Duck is being played by Lily and representing the side of Tricky Gooses of the red team. Nan, I'm going to call him Nan, playing on Gul'dan, Birdie on Phoenix, Key Glock on Stukov, and Elf Boy on ETC. Nice to see Guitar Hero here. So, are they going to run it down mid? ETC was going top, potentially maybe trying to set up a gank here, but looks like on the side of Sky5, they're just going to poke out the bottom cannon here. ETC does go to the top lane, so wait a minute, we're going to have a double support down bottom with the Phoenix and Gul'dan. I was completely wrong and surprised. I am actually excited to see this, actually. This is awesome. Here we go. So we have Silence, Blinds, Nani, let's see if he went the suck build, and he went the suck build. That's what we like to see. Gul'dan sucking the other team off. There we go. Getting free damage from the suck. All right, and Phoenix down there as well. Does ETC have a good matchup, though, against the Diva? That is the question, but you can interchange, right, if things get a little bit too spicy for the bottom team not having a major front line, but they are suspecting a gank. Now, do they get the Lily? Because Lily is very hard to gank here. Is there any roots or follow-up? No, there isn't, because they missed. Blaze did miss his E here and slows, but that's okay. You may be able to catch that rotation again if caught appropriately. That was a great hold, actually, by Blaze here. And they get the Diva out of her mech. That is great before the objective starts. And a silence might be placed on. Nope, he gets away. Looks like there's gonna be a lot of poke, and Gul'dan is siphoning down the Cassia. But do they catch the Gul'dan? Potentially no. They understand that they need to take their camps because they did potentially see on the side of Tricky Gooses that they are taking their camp. Lily is going to scout here, be really annoying as a battle Lily because again, it's actually really hard to lock down a Lily without very hard CC, but they are going to invade because they took their camp early. Tricky Gooses goes in, and Blaze goes in. Can they punish that? Because that is a very hard commit on the Blaze. And Cassie goes in, but Sleep is gone, and there is the Stukov slow, and that is insane. Look how much damage that Stukov did with the slow. Followed up, Lily is being a nuisance, but Blaze is stunning out the back line. Blaze should die here, followed up by the Lily and Gul'dan on the point. They take both. Excellent work. They did split up a little bit, so look, it got a little hairy because if Li Ming got one kill there, that reset would have been devastating. But on the side of Tricky Gooses here, that Stukov, if you guys didn't see that level 1 reactive, my brain just broke reading that. Blasted Force. It's like, y'all are gonna flame me for that one. But his level 1 talent got so much value. Slowed the Cassia, slowed the Blaze, got some little bit of burst heals. Now Key is going back into the Stukov here. He might need to back up because it is now going to be a 1v3 here. It is a little scary because the Malfurion level 1 talent. I am really interested to see how this talent plays out. Emerald Dreams here. So entangling roots sleep enemy heroes for 2 seconds after its roots expired. That's really good, right? That's really good. Excellent poke on the side of Tricky Gooses into the Blaze. It is really hard for that Blaze to get, but he might dive in here, but it might be a little dangerous because Malfurion can't get a W off here, can only get some passive, but it looks like he missed it and put on Cassia. Blaze is really low here, goes into commit, and Gul'dan is caught, and there he is sleeping. Can they get a commit on him? They just need an auto attack and a Q here from the Li Ming and Cassia, but they do miss. They get a nice follow-up to get him low, but it isn't enough because that double support comp here. Excellent work on the side of Tricky Gooses keeping their Gul'dan player up. They have a lot of self-sustain because that Gul'dan, the Li Ming, the Stukov can keep players alive. And on top, if you have the self-sustain heals, it's great. So looks like they're going to send Phoenix to mid here. So on the side of Tricky Gooses, maybe play just a little passive here, right? Catch your soak because you have control up top. You don't need to force a 4v3, which they're not. But again, it's just something to point out, right? And they're doing excellent by not committing here. So they do send the Phoenix top. They decide that the ETC was not the move there. Great try though. They do catch the Cassie here. Can they get a silence on her? No, they don't. But Cassie goes straight into Gul'dan's face saying, stop sucking me off. I'm going to punch you in the face. And she does a lot of damage. But now Cassia Diva is rotating the mid, but probably won't be able to get it because both teams are on the objective point. But does Gul'dan go down? He's super low, but doesn't. Very low again. Cassia does do a lot of damage back at the Gul'dan. It is now a 4v4 here. The objective is now in rotation. The shrines are now in rotation, or in the advantage of the red team here. But does ETC get caught out here because Sleep and Stop? Great unstoppable, but is it enough to kill him? Can the Li Ming focus? But they don't. And Stukov is going to body block. Great body block by the Stukov. Great using that front line. Li Ming almost caught that ETC there, but I think used all of her ability. But does a crap ton, trying to make it PG-13 here. Does a crap ton of damage to the Gul'dan. W is used on ETC to get the Blaze off, but can they get a lockdown on the Cassia? They don't. ETC is still in the shrine fighting for the point because Phoenix is going straight mid. Can the Diva catch it? Diva does, but can Phoenix get it in time? I don't believe he can. No, he understands that and he leaves it. He's just going to soak mid, get the advantage here. Now, with this stalemate, but Li Ming does get caught, but is not enough. Great try on the ETC and silence. Great look. You saw it, but can they get the Blaze or can they get any counter here? Cassia is pushing in on the side of Tricky Gooses. You're a little low here. Lack of mana here. You might just want to let your Phoenix control top and soak. But ETC is caught out. Can they get a sleep on him? No, excuse me, not a sleep. A root silence sleep on him. But if you're on the side of your uses, you have plenty of time just to get a nice reset. But they do tap here, right? You have tap advantage now. Now that we see that, they're going to go in, maybe look for another potential chance here. But instead, they might do a tricky play for a 2v3 because on the side of Tricky Gooses, they sent the Gul'dan and the Stukov to take the camp. Again, pretty good, right? You're getting the stalemate out, but if they stall it long enough, they might be able to let that Gul'dan catch it. They are potentially calling it, and a bomb was dropped top. Can they get it? No, they can't. They did not commit to it. Sorry, guys, if I'm moving fast. I'm just trying to make sure I give you all the action here. I do think that they could have committed to mid there, but again, I might have been missing something. But ETC does miss his power set, but they're going to force in this camp, right? And it looks like Lily is either going for a flank or potentially just going to catch the mid. So, and on the side of Shikusi, he's kind of back up. Great W on the Blaze, but didn't catch him at the right time because he still got his dash into him. So when looking at talents here, for the Li Ming, I'm just looking at the Li Ming for right now. All right, so you have Force Armor for the Gul'dan. Great Triumvirate, because you're probably not going to get pressure too much, but Seeker, so no Calamity here. Interesting. Calamity potentially could be good, but he may not be going Calamity only because the Li Ming might just be like, I don't really want to teleport into the team with the ETC into a Stukov. It could be very scary. But ETC does isolate the Blaze, but is it enough? Because Blaze pop trait and does dive in. Can they get a follow-up root on him? They can't, and that was a lot of damage to the ETC. Level 10s are now here. They're now activated, as you can see. They did get the Lily's ult out. So on the side of Sky5, they have a lot of advantage for it. But Horrify was casted, and I think it missed the Deckard, or excuse me, the Blaze here. But Blaze dropped his ult, and Lily was caught out. Lily should die here to the Li Ming here. Great follow-up. Now Blaze is going to dive in, try catching our boy Keyglock here, the Stukov, but misses. It's okay, because you have the advantage to a 5v4. But if you're on the side of Tricky Gooses, again, your offlaner does carry really hard here if you do lose as the 4-man, because if your offlaner does well, as this Phoenix is doing against the Diva here, you don't have to worry about the objective, right? So at the point for Sky5, they can potentially know that they have numbers advantage. They can start taking camps, right? Maybe even say, all right, let's take top bruiser camp, because that way we can put a lot of pressure. But they do cast the ETC. Great push by the Stukov here, saving the ETC here. So now that they just focused the lanes here, they didn't get any objective value, or not objective value, siege value or camp value. It is now basically a stalemate. Again, as I was saying, there's some ideas here to potentially use that time advantage to either try an objective, but if you understand that your offlaner is not winning, then try out pressuring the lane by either taking a siege camp or bruiser camp on your side, right? Take that time you're in. But Blaze does get caught out here, and they do notice that all 5 are down here, and Lily does get caught out here. Maybe could have backed up a little bit because now it's a 5v4, and Phoenix isn't coming down. Phoenix is still a little late. ETC is caught out. He should die here. Great anchor by the Blaze here, by blocking the path here. ETC was caught out by the Blaze. And I don't know if on the side of Tricky Gooses, maybe it was called out and the team was just a little late to react. Maybe the Phoenix didn't realize that the D.Va was rotating. But when you see an offlaner do that, it's mainly because they have rotation prio, right? So D.Va didn't really lose much here. Lost a top thing, but got a kill. But again, it comes down to the fact that Phoenix is still dominating the offlane. D.Va can't do anything on the side of taking the objective. So maybe you could, look at taking some camps here. But they do get the fort down and the well. So they did get some great value. Now, are they posturing to look at that camp? No, but Stukov does suspect it, and nice check on the bush here. The Lily and it's just Lily actually on the point. This is what we've seen about Battle Lily. But do you really do much against Battle Lily, right? There's no follow-up CC here, just a slow, and the CC is down, and now it's just Cassia going in, but is blinded, so again, Cassia is negated entirely. Phoenix is going mid, and ETC is now top. So it is a 3-4 here. It's a 3-1-1 right now for the side of Tricky Gooses. Now, can they get value out of this? Because you are equal talent tiers here. Does the ETC need to be top right now? Only because of the fact that your team does need you while they're being pressured. And again, we are hoping to maybe see some prioritization when you see potential misplays like that to try getting some lane advantage to shove in the bot lane, get some maybe chip damage, some EXP bonus by taking your camp, because again, siege camp with your team isn't too hard, especially when the other team is winning it. But ETC is going to rotate top. Looks like they're sending the Phoenix back down because maybe they're saying, hey, we need more damage down here, guys. We need to do something. But it looks like on the side of Tricky Gooses, we have a call from ETC saying, hey guys, I have top. We're going to take this bottom camp. We're going to try using this advantage here to help with our push, because when you fight inside of a siege camp, you also get additional damage. But looks like they're just going to hard commit mid and clear the lane, but they should rotate down fast because you're giving away your siege camp. You're basically devaluing what you did here. But again, the only reason why I'm focusing on the siege is, again, whenever you see an opportunity to take advantage, you should take it. Now, they do catch the Lily because she did overextend here against Blade and immediately blown up. See you in the Nexus, Lily. That is what just happened. Now, it's a 5v3 here. ETC is a little late to the rotation here because Lily was a little high up, was caught out by the Blaze, and instantly silenced and Valkyrie into, sorry, I had a brain lag here, and was Valkyried to death. That's a lot of ults used, but on the side of Tricky Gooses, they used Horrify and they used Salvo. ETC is still covering mid. The thing about it is what makes it pretty tricky for the ETC is because he took Mosh Pit, he can't get that off-lane value, right, that you would see with an off-lane ETC, right, with Stage Dive. Mosh Pit isn't going to get much value here, unfortunately, because you're only matching a D.Va, and you're only going to give D.Va lane prio because Phoenix should be the one. Now, they are going to take a 5v4 here, and I think D.Va called it out because are they going to cast someone? Are they going to get a solo watch on anyone? No. Blaze goes in, but there is a wave of force on the side, so they are going to counter ETC if they don't mosh. So does Phoenix leave to get that top? They're going to miss that top soak. That's pretty big here. That's a lot of soak missing here. But they should be able to get 16 through the mid wave here. But you're losing a lot here because ETC is a little slower on the side of wave clear compared to their Phoenix. But they probably called out they do need more damage here. Let's see if this works in the late game. Blaze is really low here. Blaze does get out. Blaze is really low. He should probably tap here. And on the side of Sky5, they took the first objective at 12 minutes. Now, when you're on the side of Sky5, you can start to potentially poke out mid, sure, because the enemy team isn't there. Get some fort damage here. And potentially look at bottom, right? Chip out bottom because you get a lot of value. CC is done. Lily might be a little high up though. Blaze might be able to catch her because she's running a linear path here, and they might be able to blow up, and she should get silenced here, and she does. Lily was too high up and got punished by the follow-up CC by the Blaze. Great counteractive part. Now, does the ETC mosh them? No, he doesn't. That would have been very, very bad if he did. It looked like he was about to do a desperate mosh play, but he doesn't. It is a little interesting, though, that on the side of Sky5, they didn't really prioritize the bottom because bottom lane, everyone knows on this map, is heavy priority because it has 1, 2, and 3 bruiser camps. All right, excuse me, 3 camps. Now, imagine if there were 3 bruiser camps. Holy shit, that would suck. That would be horrible. But on the side of Tricky Gooses, they finally take their top bruiser camp. Interesting. They do pressure and they get the bottom 4. So they do get both. They get chip damage in the middle and great setup for bottom now. it looks like on the side of Sky5, they're looking for a potential posture here, and Gul'dan is just poking at it, but at that point, you kind of just have to get it. You know, you're missing your front line here. Not having that ETC does not do a whole lot. Does Gul'dan get higher? No. Gul'dan does sidestep it, take it to the wall. Excellent sidestep focus on the side of Tricky Gooses here. But again, I think what's hurting, and again, this is just an observation here, I think what's honestly hurting the side of Tricky Gooses is they don't have their tank. He's in the off lane and doesn't have stage dive value, and you're basically leaving your Lili and your Stukov to massive CC stun chain against a Blaze and a Malfurion. But they are looking for an aggressive play here. Could they get great focus? They do miss the slide, and they don't take it, but they catch two. But Li Ming hits them with the wave of force here, and ETC instantly dies. Does not take the fight. Li Ming's gonna get massive resets here. This could have been way too aggressive here. Like, too cool. Dan should be the next to die here. D.Va does follow up, and Li Ming goes in Apple Mike here. Can you kill him with the side thing? And you don't. And there's now 3 dead on the side of Tricky Gooses. This is a big no-no. That was super risky. I don't know if it was worth it because the objective was coming up. Oh, man. If you're on the sky, if you are on the side of Sky5, you are now on cloud 9. You are extremely happy that Tricky Gooses made, unfortunately, that play there. They did catch a nice 2-man mosh, but Li Ming did teleport away and used her wave of force value. Now, you're going to take the objective here, and you potentially will be looking at you're going to take mid for free because it's free, and then potentially start looking at bottom keep here, because now you start putting a lot of pressure because there's a lot of camp value down here, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to start putting some pressure here. And man, I'm telling you guys, what's really hurting is just the lack of a front line. It's really, really rough for the side of Tricky Gooses, but there is still potential of them winning, right? They get a nice play here. Their front line is in there, and their front line is in the objective here, and D.Va is half health. What can you do on the side, right? This is a well, they are 20 here, so it's a little aggressive. You don't want to really force this here. Don't really want to slide here because this is a pre-20 fight. Just kind of back up, play by your keep, but they are going to get follow-up, and they're going to get an instant catch on the Phoenix. Phoenix should die here, but he does it. Oh, excellent cleanse by the Lili. Great stuff. Lili does take a lot of damage. ETC slides, but realizes they don't have ult, and they do, and they're now casting it. ETC does have his Masha, but can he get any value out of it? But no one dies here at a 20 fight. This is crazy. Again, give some credit where it's due. Excellent play by the Lili for realizing that Phoenix needs help to teleport out and instantly cleanses at the right moment. Good stuff on the side of this Lili. Excellent cleanse. We like to see those plays. That is what saves games here. So on the side of Tricky Gooses, they're going to send ETC top again. Well, you're going to be aggressive on the bottom. Blaze is anchoring, but does see them in mid, or did see them in mid, but it's fine to anchor, right? It's nice to stay safe. And D.Va is also holding the lane to also give them some vision because they're going to be aggressive. They're going to take the siege, and they're going to take the bruisers. Again, guys, this is what I'm talking about here. When you prio bottom and you have the advantage, you can definitely wreak havoc. So now you have a bruiser and a siege camp and minion advantage. But can they catch him here? Blaze is posturing for the Phoenix and misses, but they do catch his Stukov here. Do they get a nice hit? Excellent cleanse, and they use out 2 ults here for this. Wave of Force just come back in 30 seconds, and ETC is going in, but you don't want to fight inside of that camp. That's very scary. You're probably going to lose this keep. You're 100% losing this keep here, but you just need to focus out. Get your 20 on the side of Tricky Gooses. Give the keep here, right? You just need to poke out the bruiser camp, poke everything out. They can't end yet, right? You still have a chance. Get your 20 fast and look for a 20 fight while the side of Sky5 does not have any ults. That might be the best play. So they should recognize that Sky5 is going top, but let's see how Tricky Gooses responds to this. Do they play into their hands here? They're almost 20 here. This is the best chance. Just get your 20 and look for a great engage or a desperation fight. ETC might go Deathmatch here because he can't get any value of his Mosh, and he ended up just suiciding for a last-ditch effort play here. Let's see what he picks. He may also do a snap lock. They might try getting a solo pick here, but no. D.Va sniffs it out and gets out. Realizes there's no need to rush here. I have the advantage. But goes tour bus. Might be a little risky here, in my opinion. Only because as soon as you cast your Mosh, there is a lot of CC follow-up, right? You may not be able to do the full extent of your Mosh pit here. So they are sniffing it out. If you're on the side of Sky5, man, you just take the objective and go hard, but you have to be there in time. Just Dark, get the full CC. No, on the side of Tricky Gooses, they just cleared top. It did not stop the did not stop the objective mid. This might be a misplay here. This could turn sour, but you can take advantage of the Blaze being in the objective here. But the only CC the Dragon Knight does have is that kick, and kick is down here. Can they get a nice follow-up here on the CTC side? No, they don't. D.Va is the target here. But there should be another Dragon Knight kick in the next 4 or 5 seconds here. Can they waste it, or can they burn this? They do. They do burn the objective here. Now, Gul'dan's thing is back. Okay, so he moves it up top here. Now, do they punish him? Do they get a nice Horrify here? Because on the lack of cleanse here, they just have some soft cleanse here. ETC does go in, cast it. Cleanse is down on the side of Sky5. Can they punish that? Can they look here? Is this an overextension? They are going to attack bottom, and this is where you can kind of chip at mid, because you see that the response on Tricky Goose is the clear bottom, so the response should be Sky5 should be taking their mid keep, and then they drop bomb for more chip damage on the mid keep. Excellent stuff on the side of Sky5, realizing that for the side of Tricky Gooses, they are in a uncomfortable situation here. But again, guys, there is still a chance. At this point in time, unfortunately to say, it does sound like a lot, but it is possible on this map. Tricky Gooses, they need bare minimum at this point 2 team wipes. Why do I say 2? The first team wipe, you wipe out bottom, you create a lane advantage here, right? You mitigate the damage here by taking this, and you could potentially even get the bottom keep wall. Now, your second fight, if you do wipe the enemy team, again, I'm just speculating, you can end because you have a win condition here. So it is still everyone's game here, even though the advantage does look like it's on the side of Sky5. Now, Blaze is really low. Stukov uses silence excellently, and Lili casts her out, but it's a 30-second cooldown because she stopped it early. Great stuff, and picks Jug of a Million Cups. So while we have a little bit of stamina, let's talk about some 20 talents here, even though I know we're at 22, 21. But we do see Repulsion, potentially looking for the Repulsion combo. Glass Cannon, most likely because you're not having a Teleport Li Ming, and she hasn't been really pressured much, so okay, fair enough. You also have your Valkyrie level 20, which silence and also roots your enemies. Great, but can get countered by a Lili. But I have seen excellent Valkyrie cast here. Good stuff. And then you have Burn Notice for the slow auto attacks. Really good. 45% spell damage. I'm not really too familiar about it, but that does sound pretty good against, the enemy team with a Phoenix and Gul'dan. Heals them up. And then lastly, a teleport. Twilight Dream. There we go. I was losing words there. Okay, so they are pressuring again bottom with that Bruiser camp. They potentially could have timed that Siege camp, but I also wasn't really too looking at the map, so I could be a little wrong here, but they could have also timed potentially Siege camp and Bruisers to put more pressure. They do send the Gul'dan top because Gul'dan, I believe, has his thing. Oh, that could have been very scary. Could have been. With your demonic circle, the 60-second cooldown, but excellent ult. All right, Tricky Gooses. ETC is now taking bottom. Again, it only the side of taking the advantage and taking advantage of 19 but holy crap, the Q damage just bursted the Gul'dan. You gotta be careful there, my man. Wow. 6 Qs connected, or 5 Qs connected, excuse me, on the Gul'dan and took his whole health bar. That could have been bad if that was followed up by a W. Great poke by the Li Ming. Potentially, if she committed to that, that would have been a nasty repulsion on it. But they do CC the D.Va. But is it enough here? Is it worth CCing the D.Va here? No, it's not. And they don't really get anything out of it. But ults are still up for the side of both teams here. Can they do anything? They're just going to keep focusing out because D.Va's level 20 gives her a lot of healing per damage by the Gul'dan, but they slide the D.Va again. They're going to try focusing out, and they're fighting next to the fort here. But do they catch anyone in the Valkyrie? No, they don't. But they do catch the Malfurion. Malfurion is caught. He should die here. Excellent. Torbus is negated, but they do catch Malfurion. This is what I'm talking about. You look for these plays. Now, D.Va bomb was dropped, and basically, you're in the advantage here for Tricky Gooses here. Maybe send someone top or take your advantage here. Realize what you're going to do here. So it looks like Gul'dan is going to back here because he needs to clear mid. Mid is going to have a lot of pressure, which sucks because this is the problem with having both your keeps down. You're going to be taking a lot of damage. He's going to go straight up top, and they're going to see that on the side of Sky5 it is a 4v4, but on the side of Tricky Gooses, you have your healers. But it looks like they're doing a split 3-1-1. This could be risky here, but this might be the risk you have to take when you're on the side of Tricky Gooses here. If you can secure this objective, which again, it's going to be very tough. You basically have to fight for it down bottom. They can do anything. Stukov did cast his ult a little bit too preemptively. Maybe he sensed it out. But can Lili sustain top against the D.Va? All right, they're going to just give bottom. They're going to back up. Can they do anything down here, though? Wave of Force is up, and ETC does have his ult in 30, but they're taking a lot of damage by the Li Ming because she is constantly poking on team. Oh my god, if he had Mosh right there, that would have been disgusting. But do they cast the Blaze? Blaze is put in. ETC is going to be caught, but is stuck on the wall. Great push, and ETC, or the Blaze does get caught by Horrify, but instantly Mosh, but completely negated by the Blaze. Excellent negate, and Li Ming takes away the ult. Wow, what a catch by AG Silver put in. But does he get caught here? Because he gets W, and Gul'dan does a lot of damage, and he does get caught, and ETC is fighting in the silence. He does get slept here, though. He should be really careful because this is the reset ready to happen. You need your Shuk off to heal you, because Li Ming's gonna fully combo you. An excellent slide out. What a roller coaster. Do they cast the Cassie for being completely overextended? They do. This is insane. If they get that objective here, this could be huge. This could be a turnaround game. Gul'dan's gonna back to protect the keep here. That's fine. You need to try getting an objective. I think they're gonna get it in time because D.Va's a little late, and they should take, Lily does take it. Here we go. This is the blow for blow. This is their chance. They can set up an excellent win condition. It is 24 minutes for this. I believe this is the third objective right now. This is big here. ETC did get kind of debated, but it did play out in his favor, even though he got debated. And Li Ming is using her level 4 talent with Glass Cannon because you can poke down this Dragon Knight. But your hearts have to be racing for the side of Tricky Gooses. This is a huge opportunity. Gul'dan is a little late, but it was clearing the lanes. But you still have to be mindful of that mid keep, right? You still have to be aware that mid keep is gone, and you're gonna have, looks like 2 Katas coming in, so you need to be quicker. Try taking, or try getting a pick here. Maybe isolate one, right? You got to take down this keep. Bare minimum, you have to take this. Now, Cassie is up. Are they going to be it? Okay, they do get the bottom keep. Now, what do you decide to do for the side of Tricky Gooses here? Do you just back up, right? So now you have a neutral lane here, right? You're going to have Katas consistently pushing, but you should be careful of mid, because mid now has 2 Katas here. Right? Just showing you guys that for a minute. But they do commit with the D.Va in. If D.Va's low, can they force out? But Phoenix does teleport out. Okay, they decide to back off. Probably a good idea here. Wow, what a great game we have here. But they do need to clear these 2 Katas. You don't want to take free damage here. You got to hurry up, Gul'dan. You don't want to take any chip damage here. Good, they do catch it. All right, so it looks like on the side of Sky5, they could have potentially taken their Siege Camp and Bruisers, but again, the reason why they don't is because they don't have the vision that we have, right? They want to stick S5. They don't want to take any chances because of this reason right here, right? They want to stay S5 because this team could have basically calculated, but do they run into, this is where ETC potentially could have anchored at this bottom bush, potentially to catch out the Li Ming, because again, if you catch that Li Ming, that's, Cassie is the only one that can stall it, and they are both high up. Now, Cassia's ult is down. Now you get a free clear. The objective is going to come up in probably, I think, about 45 seconds now at this point. You are utilizing all the time. You could basically just start taking some camps, get them off the map. As you can see on the team of Sky5, they're just taking camps, continuously putting lane pressure in the lane. So on the side of Tricky Gooses, they're going to start their Bruiser camp because they realize that we should just take this off the map. We just need more lane protection because on the side of Sky5, they have complete lane prio here. They do see the blue team on the bottom side of the map, and now the red team is now basically pinging with that because they just took their Bruiser camp. So they're going to clear top wave here. For the side of Tricky Gooses, they know that they can get a free clear on the Bruiser camp. They do know that there should be potential rotation up top. They don't see the Blaze, so when you don't see the tank, you do not want to potentially send that Li Ming there, because that Li Ming could, or excuse me, that Lily there, because Lily could have been punished. Because again, remember, Lily is the only one with cleanse, so Lily checking bushes like that could be fatal with the amount of CC chain. But again, guys, as I was saying, they want a team fight. Now look where we're at, right? We got bottom fort and bottom keep. It only takes one more team fight for the side of Tricky Gooses to win, and they should win the game if they do it, right? If they win or they take the objective, right? One or the other. But again, outside of Sky5 here, you have still control the map. You only have your one neutral lane here. It looks like they're going to rotate very carefully, right? You don't really need to send mid. And ETC is holding the rotation gank here, maybe looking for a misplay of Blaze. Blaze, I maybe did see him or not. I'm not sure, because that was a little bit to the left of the ETC. But they should know this is here, right? Right, they do. Okay, it's pretty obvious, but again, great idea, right? There's nothing wrong with anchoring there and having your team to back you up, especially the ETC. Eva's just going to poke with her ult, and they should be able to get this in time because Cassia does recognize that all of them are mid, so not a bad idea, but you should be careful about top because that lane is now crashing in. Gul'dan, they're going to send Gul'dan to take it, but they should be careful here. They shouldn't force this. You don't know where the enemy team's at because you no longer have vision in the top wave because why? Your lane is too far pushed out. This could be dangerous. This could be a 5v4 here. This might be a throw. You really don't need the forces here. You really don't because top is still yours. You just gotta, oh, but the root is huge. Do they catch him? Do they get him? The Unstoppable's there. Lily caster ult. And they do get a root on the ETC. They potentially get a blow up on ETC. ETC is completely caught out because of the 5v4. Blaze comes in, and this should be a 3-man team, but Gul'dan gets pushed back. Li Ming is on fire here. She's going to push back the Stukov here. Should get a kill. This should be game. They just need to lock down the Stukov. They're going to go straight to core after this. This is unfortunate. Unfortunate. On the side of Sky5, they realized the Gul'dan was rotating. It was a 5v4. They didn't really need to take the fight on the side of Tricky Gooses. That is unfortunate. But job well done for the side of Sky5 for realizing that is the play they need to do. Both teams played excellent. We had a great time passing this match, guys. So for the side of Sky5, GG to a 2-0 victory in the series.